Hi everyone, this is the first movie for the Guided Project 7-3. So one of the things that I want you to be aware of is when I'm creating this, I am doing it from home and I have Office 365. So this is one of the assignments where there might be alternate instructions. So when we get to them, I'll point them out, but I'm going to do the ones that are for 365. So we're going to go ahead and open our Placer Hills 7 and enable the editing, which I did. So on the left is our file, on the right is my instructions. Let's see. So it says the num error appears in 3 cells. So we have 1, 2, and 3 because the formula is missing. Okay. So though these 3 values are built on cell H15, and because H15 is missing, the rest of the data is it's built off of something that isn't there. All right, so we're going to find and clear data validation settings. So click the Find and Select button, Home tab, Editing Group. So Home tab, Editing Group. And then we're going to, I'm going to scroll this out a little bit so you guys can see. Here's my Find and Select. So it's the little magnifying glass. Click that. Data validation. Oh, wait. Sorry. Go to Special. Sorry. Go to Special. Select the option button for data validation. And then we're going to click OK. So we're saying we want to find and select data validation errors. So we're going to click OK. And the cells that have data validation built into them are now highlighted. Okay. Do you see? So what we did was we just found all the cells on this sheet that had some kind of data validation already built in. So we're going to click on the data validation button. So we're going to go back here. Sorry. Data tab. And then we want to find our data validation. Data validation, clear all. Leave the dialog box open. So we've cleared any validation that was currently in there, and now we're going to set up our own. So verify the following cells in the worksheet are selected: C9 through C12, H9, H11, and then H13 and 14, and H16. And they are. So we're all good. So now we're going to click on the Allow and choose Decimal. We're going to say it has to be greater than or equal to a 0. So the number can be 0 or greater, and it has a decimal places. Allows decimal places. We're going to come over here to the error alert, and we're going to make a stop, and the title is required. We want to make sure that this button, Show Alert After Invalid Data is Entered, is selected. I'm going to scroll down. So our title was required. The style is stop. And then right here, please enter a positive value with the period. Please enter a positive value, period. Now we can click OK. So now what we did was we had taken away the data validation and we put in our own. So now we want to display the developer tab if it's not on the ribbon, and I think I told you last time to keep it on because we're going to need it in the future, so I would just leave it on. I would not take it away. So I'm going to go to the developer tab, and then I'm sorry, let's see, we're going to, if you have the developer tab, you don't need to do this, step 5. I already have mine, so I'm going to skip to 6. If you don't have your developer tab, you need to do steps 5. All right, so let's work at step 6. Insert a spin button control. That's cool. Okay, so let's kind of look at what we're going for here. We're going to put a little spinner and attach it here. So show the grid lines on the sheet. So we're going to do view, and then just check the little box that says grid lines, and then our little grid lines will reappear. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our developer tab, and in this control group we want to find the toolbox with the tools there, and we're going to insert, and remember we're working up here in forms control, not the ActiveX. We're going to find the spin control. So that's the one with the up and down arrow. You're going to click it, and then look at what happens when you bring your mouse down into here. We're going to draw this control from I-21 through I-22, right? So there's our little up and down arrows. Then we want to right click on it and do format control. And this is, so the first thing we did is we placed the object on here. Then we right click and we go to format and we set up what's going to happen. So this is a spinner, so we want to set the value from the beginning, like what do you want to spin through and what do you want the increment to be, right? So you could say like 1 to 100 or 0 to 100, skip 5. So then you'd get 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. You can do whatever you want in terms of this. So we're going to do a minimum value of 1, a maximum value of 8, and we're going to leave the increment at 1. And then what cell do we want to link it to? So that's where it's going to appear so we can spin through it. And so that is going to be H22, this little box right here. So what you're going to do is you have agents 1 through 8. So you're going to use this to scroll through that number. Okay? So that's all we're doing, is a nice way to control that when somebody's entering the agent number, they just can do the numbers that are assigned to agents. They're not going to put something in error. We want a 3D shading, and click OK. We want to click somewhere to deselect, and I'm going to just show you how this works. So look, so I can scroll up, I can scroll down, and it changes, and it won't let me go past 8. I'm clicking, it's only going to go from there. All right, I'm going to stop this movie. Oh no, you know what? I'm going to finish it. We only have to protect it and do a little, okay. So we've got that control in there. So now we want to select cells D4, so D4 through E4. Press and hold your control and select C9 through C12. We're going to select H9, H11, H13 to 14, H16, H22, and E22. So what we have done is we are selecting the cells that data entry will be made. And so the process is we figure out what cells should be able to get data for somebody to enter it. And now we're going to unprotect those cells. So to do that, there's a couple ways. I'm going to go Home, Format, and you see how my lock is grayed? That means it's locked. Those cells are locked. I'm going to click. Now I have set the attribute for those cells to be unlocked. So when I protect my sheet, those are going to be the only cells unlocked that somebody can enter data into. So that's what we just did. So we removed the locked property and made it unlocked. So now we want to go to the Review tab, Protect Sheet, don't use a password, and click OK. So now we want to delete C9 through C10, H9, oh my gosh, my email's blowing up here. H9, delete, and H16, delete. Okay, so we kind of cleared all that out. So now we're right here on step 9. So in C9, we're going to type 450,1230. So 450,000, enter. C10, we're going to type 275,000, enter. H9, our purchase price is 485,000, enter. H11, additional down payment 75,000. Okay, so that looks good. Then it says enter data in cells H13, 14, and 16 as shown over here. So 13, the loan term, 30 years. Interest rate is 4.25%, and estimated tax and insurance is $850. Okay, notice that the payment, the error is gone because we supplied the underlying information. All right, click the spin box, and we're going to go to agent 3. So I use my up arrow, change the agent to 3. We're going to select E22 and put 1,875 is the current payment. The projected payment is there, and there's the difference. We're going to increase our payment by $131. So we, in this step, remove the developers tab. I don't think you should do that. So we're going to go ahead and save it. Oh my gosh, sorry. So let's save our file, and you can submit it. All right. Reach out to me if you submit this and you have some errors. I will help you through them. Thank you.